What's good? It's your boy, Mixtape Moth, and today I'm going to hit y'all with a review of this new Rome Streetz album entitled Kontraband. Let's get to it. Rome Streetz is a highly prolific lyricist coming out of Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. However, I recently learned that he had spent some of his high school years living in London. And interestingly enough, this new project, Kontraband, was produced entirely by the UK producer Farma Beats. Now, this is actually the second album they have together. Their first was Street Pharmacy back in 2018. But Rome Streetz has been bubbling in the underground scene for a while now. I was late to the party, unfortunately, as my first time hearing him was on Westside Gunn's Fly God is an Awesome God 2. I did like his performance a lot on Ransom's Director's Cut 3. It led me to check out some of his Nose Candy projects, which are pretty dope as well, especially the third one. So Rome Streetz is giving you very authentic lyrical street rap. You can tell by how descriptive and detailed his street stories are that it's coming from a real place and not just his imagination. He has a unique way of rhyming that requires you to pay attention to every line. If you aren't listening closely, you might miss a punchline or the jewels that he's dropping because he's rapping at a quick rate and saying a lot in a short period of time. But let's get right into this project, Kontraband, produced by Farma Beats. It's 12 tracks lasting a brisk 34 minutes. When talking about the production, it's very solid. There aren't any whack or lackluster beats. The majority of the instrumentals are dark, somber, and psychedelic with a splash of soul. I was also able to detect somewhat of a UK feel from some of these beats, which I thought was dope. But with that being said, let me hit y'all with this track by track breakdown. Track 1, entitled Trackmarks, opens with a skit from the movie Layer Cake. It has the sound of an addict spazzing out. The beat is haunting. You can tell immediately that you are in store for some pretty vivid drug raps. Rome states the work certified fuck a tester. It moves by itself like a Tesla. It's like a fresh piece of crack coming out the pot when my vinyl gets pressed up. Rome Streetz is really giving us some disturbing imagery, talking about a junkie who took a hot shot to the neck and was dead in minutes. The track closes out with some dope vocal scratches of 50 Cent, Jay-Z, and the Locks. I thought the scratching was a great addition to the record. Track 2, Lick the Toad, is a banger with an eerie 80s synth loop. On this record, Rome Streetz is bringing the listener into his sinister world of drug dealing. His experiences are chilling, graphic, but also cautionary. Started with a little hit, now he a fiend that licked the ball. After the nasal drip, my pockets where I hold his soul. It's like he's examining the power dynamic between the dealer and the addict. I thought the following line was clever. Cuddies with a tongue out like the logo for the Rolling Stones. That was hard. Overall, this was a very dope second song. I was getting some Alchemist vibes from the beat. Track 3, Buckets, featuring Danielson, could also be looked at as a banger. It has one of the most up-tempo instrumentals on the tape. The gruff and lo-fi horn loop is kind of reminiscent of DJ Muggs' production. The Biggie scratches were also a nice touch. I thought Danielson came through with a solid verse. Rome Streetz questions the authenticity of some rappers. When I'm in the booth, I produce crack. Dudes got plug talk in their raps, but no facts to prove that. The fourth song, Mirrors and Smoke, has more of a down-tempo backdrop. It's a jazzy and soulful instrumental that's fitting for the more thoughtful content that Rome is giving us. On here, Rome can be looked at as somewhat of a street life coach. He's really giving out that game to rappers, youngsters, and just dudes on the street. The chorus finds him giving out such advice. Take your time, don't be in a rush to bust your load. Say you love this life, but you too deep in lust with bucks and hoes. On this road, there's plenty mirrors and smoke, only trust your soul. After this, we have Laced, which might be the best storytelling track I've heard all year. On top of this soulful and melancholy beat, Rome tells the tale of a straight-laced young man from the hood who had a lot of potential, but after smoking a laced blunt, his life was forever changed. He turned into a full-fledged addict who lost it all due to this one mistake. So the message to the story is stay in your lane, keep your head on a swivel, watch the company you keep, pay attention to your circle before they hurt you. The thing to remember is that you can't be too carefree about your future because certain environments will swallow you whole if you aren't moving wisely. At the end of the day, you got to make good choices. choices. My favorite line was Tales from the Hood, this is one, there's 8 million more. When the game is done, the king go inside the same box as the pawn. So this was a super deep track that shows Rome as this streetwise observer. The following song, Ghetto star Junior Escobar finds Rome Streetz in his storytelling bag again. He's speaking on kids getting caught up in street life, living a double life. For example, it's hard to be the starting point guard and the crime boss. Them lives overlap, your hoop dreams collide with the trap. Rome is giving out more cautionary game like get yourself whacked trying to be too famous. Betrayal never really comes from strangers. So these are jewels to consider if you are living that type of lifestyle. Up next is London Pound Cake featuring Radamiz. It has a very sparse yet trippy instrumental. I was getting some strong UK vibes from this beat. On here, Rome and Radamiz hit us with some very clever lyricism. I thought Radamiz had a couple lines that stood out. One was live from the Sumner Projects like E-Moneybags. What follows is Ballot of the Lone Wolf, which has somewhat of a psychedelic rock backdrop. Rome speaks on keeping it authentic and making moves by himself, kind of like a lone wolf would do. He separates himself from the fake rappers who perpetuate a lifestyle that they never lived. He states, jewels that I learned from experience, I put them in a song. They rap in fairy tales for the 85% to sing along. Now, the 85% line comes from the 5%ers who believe that 85% of the people consist of the masses who are blind, deaf, and dumb. So in this context, Rome believes that rappers sell a lie for the majority of the public to consume. Track 9, Sensation, is the first song to not have a dark beat, in my opinion. There's a slightly more soulful and brighter quality to the instrumental. On here, Rome flexes his skills and hits us with some pretty clever wordplay. Right after is Eyes on Fire featuring Duffel Bag Ran. I like the smooth and dreamy soul sample production. It does give off some strong blaxploitation vibes. In fact, Ransom even mentions that the beat is beautiful, like a song from the soundtrack off of Claudine. Ransom has a really strong verse as expected. He poses some hypothetical questions as he's been known to do in his raps. Overall, this was a very dope song with some stellar lyricism. The second to last song is Lucky Stop Dreaming. The production has more of that UK feel to it. I do like this beat, but it sounds similar to a couple of earlier tracks. He's spitting some hard bars here, but I couldn't tell if this was a diss record aimed at a specific person or if he was just flexing some battle rap bars in general. For example, throw your CD out the fucking window. The hardest part was the skit on your intro. You ain't low. This album closes out with Word to Mummy on top of this mellow soul beat. He talks about all that he's been through. He's surprised that he's made it after all the dirt that he's done, but he is determined to chase his dreams while he's still here, and that's word to his mommy. He's really floating effortlessly over this soulful production. It's a fantastic way to close out a dope project. Overall, I give this album a rating of 4.3 out of 5, so basically I consider it to be a strong 4-mic project. I think this is the best Rome Streetz album that I've heard. Now, I can't say that I'm familiar with his whole discography, so please, in the comment section, let me know how you think this album compares to his others. While I enjoyed the production on here a lot, I suppose I could have used a beat or two that wasn't quite as dark, because there was this eerie and moody tone to the majority of the beats. Now, let me be clear, I don't have a problem with darker production. In fact, I would prefer it over something lighthearted, but at a certain point, my ears wouldn't have minded a beat that was maybe a little more euphoric or perhaps even melodic. Here's an example. So if Farma Beats could have thrown in something that sounded like Faster Blade from Ghostface's Iron Man, I definitely think that would have put this over the top. You know, something a little brighter and more flavorful to break up that pace. But that's really it as far as my critique on the beats. I think overall, Farma Beats came through and did a great job. And of course, Rome Streetz killed it on the lyrical tip. He displayed that he can pretty much do it all lyrically. He has that introspection, storytelling, punchlines, unique flow, and of course, slick wordplay. I'm officially tuned in to Rome Streetz, and I'll be looking forward to checking out all that he has coming down the pike in the near future. My favorite tracks include Trackmark, Lick the Toad, Laced, Ghetto Star Jr., Escobar, Sensation, Eyes on Fire, and Word to Mommy. Let me know what you thought of this project in the comment section below. What should I check out next? It's your boy, Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out, but be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe. As always, it's peace and blessings. Rome Streetz, Kontraband 1.